How you doing, everybody? Hey, John. Hey, Jeffrey. How's Shanghai? I have some personal and hopeful COVID news. I could for anyone's. Yeah, I'm interested. Hey, John. GMT Master. Good morning. I'm an American in Shanghai. You've been. I'm an American who's been Shanghaied. Okay, let's see what it is. All right. Hey, KK Chrome. How you doing? You're in Hong Kong? Okay, good. How are things in Hong Kong, too? Morning is early today, yeah. Hey, Glenn, how are you? Ian, how are you, too? Sean, Jeffrey, I've tested positive for antibodies, which is good. No kidding. Congratulations. Man, I'm sort of hoping I do the same thing. I might, like, oh, that's really good. Yeah. Send some over to me, okay? We could all use some. Just sort of go like this to your screen and we'll all be great. Oh, let's see. I'm doing well, GMT Master. Lee, how are you? NS something, hello. My wife and daughter too. Wow, all of you guys, that's great. Hi, Junior. Geezer. Hello, Geezer, how are you? So my daughter and I have gone through this largely asymptomatic. That's such good news. If we had something called testing, like we should have had in January, I think we'd have a lot more knowledge and a lot of stuff would be under better control. But they have a testing thing they set up in a town next to ours, and but you need a doctor's note or something like that never mind. Don't get me started. Anyway, well, listen, that's good news, Sean. Jeff. And terms in the mail, hot dog. You can email mine. Oh, good. Wow. Yeah, that's so weird. I think if you've got a good immune system, it's like to say a few things. I've been doing some coffee, and I thought, well, maybe that's all I'm going to get. I don't know. The city of London is pretty dead. Just a few construction workers out and about in the district. I tell you, Boris Johnson totally changed his tune after he got laid low, and he's been coming out and he's been great since then. So I'm glad to see that. Well, we are told to chug some Lysol and hope for the best. Oh, good. Okay, well, that's a great way to start off the week. Well, Monday with some good news. Now, let me show you guys some of the things where I've been and doing. This I came up with. We had talked about the dial filling in the numbers and so forth. So I used the numbers from the clock in Metropolis, and then I used the font to put Metropolis as the name of the watch, using the font that they used for the movie. It's really great. That's what I like about being online. You can get fonts for just about anything. So I just went there, and it was a free font. I guess people aren't lined up around the block to get Metropolis fonts, but it was the one. This is they had two different fonts. The fonts for the clock actually went from 1 to 10, and so I just added. Whoops. Yep. So I added another one. I added the 11 and 12. That wasn't hard. Then I superimposed the Rgm Hands on it, and then I just put the Metropolis in below. Now, after looking at that, the first time I had it up there, somebody said, boy, there are a lot of different styles there. And I think they're right. So maybe, because I really like the dial. The case. I like the shape of the case with the horn lugs and everything. And maybe we ought to take a look more at see what Kerry Wooten has used on his, because they're very much the ones that he uses, and that was why I like it, I think. And I don't know, just some ideas. Anyway, let's get your feedback and see what you think. Oh, okie doke. Okay, I recommend lemon Lysol. Chill it in the freeze. Take. Okay, it is something. Hey, Al, how you doing? Took a 45-minute drive for the first time in 54 days. Wow. Um, I've got one of those stupid things on my car that tell you whether your tires are just right. And I went out on this. I had to drive all the way over, I don't know, about 10, 15 miles. And it was over the roads are all, they haven't fixed the roads yet. They had all kinds of potholes. And so what happens on my car is that I got this little screen that says, your tires aren't right. And it doesn't go away until you make your tires right. And then on top of that, you have to go through some convoluted thing they have on the car for getting it off your screen so you can see your speedometer. Really a mess. And so I haven't been too anxious to go back out again, and the weather's been so weird. Anyway, hey, Blaine, there's a group age 30 to 40 which have strokes linked with COVID. Wow, that's not good. They seem to have a link with genetics, sadly. Well, John, I hope none of us have that. Let's see. 17,000 cases, 108 dead, and a population of 25 million. And they already started doing random testing, going from neighborhood to neighborhood. Wow. We have, 17,000 cases. 17,000 cases in a population of 25 million. Wow. And they already started testing. That's good that's the kind of stuff that we should be doing. Never mind. Don't get me started. Hi, Giuseppe. How you doing? How is everything in Italy? You guys coming along okay? You don't care for the horn lugs. Blaine, these are teardrop lugs, not horn lugs. And there is a difference. Horn lugs, like I got those great big ones on my Parmigiani. Anyway. Okay. Hey, Clyde, how you doing, man? Mark in. Good morning. Good early morning, Mark. We're trying to get out from under the situation. Yeah. One thing I was in Venice a couple years ago, and I saw in the news that all of the canals were all cleaned up. This is nature saying, okay, don't mess with Mother Nature. Wham. Okay, things are getting better along those lines. The air is cleaned up in a lot of places too. Hi, Abdul. How you doing? Say spent a lot of time in Toronto. Hey, Hans, how are you? Such a nice day. I'm going to get my Oyster Flex Daytona. Oh boy, that'll bring the sun up. Can we just call them Bogan lugs? Yeah. I moved here 2 years ago. Love it. And GMT Master, where is that? Is that Toronto? We try to figure out positive things also from such bad situation as this one. Yeah, I think everyone's looking for the silver lining. That's why we took the opportunity to see if empty for once. GMT. What color dial you have? Okay. Let me talk about this a little more. Here's the revised one for the Metropolis. I got the Metropolis font for the little name at the bottom. I put that in red. The hands are going to be in blue, and then the index numbers are going to be in black. So I don't know. I tried red. Maybe black would be better. Maybe a smaller font for Metropolis would be better. I'm pretty sure that the case and the style are going to have a little kind of and so two things. One, we might try another look for the face. I'm thinking with the Rgm hands. Do you think Rgm look would be like using Rgm fonts and sort of one of their dials would look better, or something more of the we have a lot of different options. The who sent it to me? I was sent, and I put it up on High Horology Lounge. I was sent a whole book of dials from times past. We can. That's something we can think about. One of the things that I sort of saw here, this Metropolis in red, it starts looking too much like a swatch. You know, the original swatch. And I think I put it a little too big. I'll have to bring it down some and take a look at it. Also, I'll see if I can get my color printer set up, and then I can make color pictures and show you guys. Maybe tomorrow I'll have it. Haven't heard from Rolf yet, so I decided pretty much what we can do on an individual basis is, you know, order the movement that we want. And those of us who have the same movement, we can go in with Wooten, Lannon, and Kalin, and maybe, you know, if they design one case that, excuse me, that we can all use. I'm going to run down and get my test. If they have something we can all use, then maybe that would be the way to go. We wouldn't have to worry about coordinating it except for the people with the same movements if they wanted the same case. So may not be feasible, but if you could get hands that look like the skyscrapers in the Metropolis movie, whoa, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's really, really very interesting. You know, the hands that are on the clock in Metropolis are just sort of like stick hands. They're not much to them. But if I could look like the skyscraper, sort of like a real narrow one, or something with that element to it, or maybe, yeah, we can try a number of different ones. This one I think is pretty well layered, and by layered I mean, when I put it together with Photoshop, I preserve the layers. I hope I did that with all of them, because sometimes what I'll do is that I'll get it all set up in Photoshop and then save it as a JPEG file, so I can. It's easier to put up on, you know, to print and do a lot of other things with. Okay. Did you get the fluted bezel? I don't know. Ow! What is? Oh, is that the one with the coin things around it, or I'm not sure what you mean by the fluted. You're not talking about. Okay, let's see. If the face is cream, number blue, 12 red, Metropolis in black or blue hands, that would be sweet. Okay, John, I agree. Something like that, I think, would be. Sounds okay. What is Sinas talking about? Yeah, run for your lives out the door. The trouble is you don't want to go outside in Oklahoma. That's even more dangerous. Okay, Trump Tower hands, huh? I don't think he has a clock. If he does, it's a cuckoo clock. Hey, Kaz, how you doing? The Rgm hands. Let me take a look at those. Yeah, they have some neat hands. Fluted and Jubilee. Okay. A Jubilee, you're talking about a Jubilee bracelet, right? Hey, Williams watches. Oh, okay. The hands like the old RKO presentation intro, like a radio antenna. Ooh, John, yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Instead of having little circles, have little flashes. Yeah, Jeffrey, he does. We don't want that. Okay, I think hands like a Telsa coil would be nice. What about the serpentine hands? How do you think that would look? Those are cool hands. And it would go with that hair on the robot. That might be cool. What do you think of that? Outside in Oklahoma, is there a difference with lack of indoor? It has something. No, no, they just opened up too soon. This is what Boris Johnson, Boris Johnson just got out of the hospital or something. He's the prime minister of Great Britain. And he had changed his tune so much. He was saying, look, I know you guys want to open up now, but it's too early. All we're going to do is more people are going to get this stuff. So let's just wait. And before he was, this isn't a big deal. And wham, like, oh no. Fluted bezel equal globe master bezel. Oh, shoot. Hey, James, too. Have you seen the Brian Ferry, the pop star out of Moser special? No, I haven't. Blue brigade hands, white dial, and clever use of red highlights with classic black numbers. Worth looking up. Okay, I will. That sounds interesting. How about arching the word metropolis? Yeah, there's a way to do that. You're talking to somebody who is not only a pretentious watchmaker, but a pretentious artist too. Yeah, I'll see if I can do that. That would look cool. I 100% agree with you on that, Hans. That would look very cool. So, boom. Talking about dials, does anyone know about the affordable dress watches under 3K with a dial in yellow, white, green, like FP Jorn? No, that sounds interesting. Giuseppe, did you see that somewhere? Metropolis printed loomed with Titrium. Okay. Hello, Rodrigo. How you doing? Want to buy a cami? A cami. I'm not sure what a cami is. From the 70s. A cami? What's a cami? Let's see. Liking the new master controller from JLC. Yeah, I like that too. I saw hovering too. Camaro? Cami Swiss made. Huh. Okay. I'm going to try some different. We got a couple different things. I'll try some different fonts and dials with this case, and then I'll try some different cases with this dial. That might help. There's a way to bend fonts, and I think that's beyond page 1 in the Photoshop manual. I'm still on page 1. I have been for the last 15 years. I used to have this great program that they quit making by Adobe called, I can't remember the name of it now, but it took care of everything. And you didn't have to have a brain in your head. Worked for me. Pont, Pont, Pontal file. My uncle had an old Camaro and an old Camaro. You mean the cars? Yeah. They were the most underpowered cars for the engine size, like a 6.6 liter engine. KK Chrome, I think I have been cooped up too long, getting obsessed with a 40 millimeter Roger Dubuis homage with a weirdo Roman numeral dial and a white gold. You know, KK Chrome, the one I'm thinking of, that's a very cool watch. That's a very interesting watch. Indices, okay. I've got the same, but with Romans. Okay, Roger Dubuis will shoot up now that Michael Jordan was filmed wearing one. Great updated movements, pure class, Finn would say. I know the porcelain is out, but are we looking at emerald enamel dials? Yeah, if that's okay. You know, what about different colored ones? I like the cream one, but you know, after seeing the size, you have to have a big hunk of jade. I don't think that's going to work. But on the other hand, you could stick enamel on a dial of just about any size you want, and then use like a jade green on it, sort of a light creamy jade green. That's a possibility. All of these things, you know, one of the problems is trying to put something together that looks good with all of the different parts. I say this because our daughter is an artist, and I was working on a font I don't know, I was working on it for months and just didn't look right. So I sent it to her, and I asked her, I said, well, you think you can do anything? 10 minutes later, it comes back perfect. I don't know how they do it. She just like that, and suddenly it looks good, and I don't know why. So maybe what I'll do is send her this and see if I can get some suggestions. If your AD told you they had to remove the stickers when you're buying a new watch, would you get the watch? I don't even, you know, that whole, you know, the whole marketing thing with the stickers and all of that stuff. I never bought into it in the first place, and so it wasn't something that I even worry about. If I bought a Rolex and from an AD and it didn't have stickers, I wouldn't care because I don't even know what they use the stickers for. Now, if you turn around and sell it and someone says, "Where are the stickers?" I don't want to tell you where I would suggest putting them. So I'm not I know the way to me, the whole thing that they have with a lot of this stuff, you got 90% raw and 10% watch. So it's one of those things. I suppose they sound like an old curmudgeon, even though that's Clyde's role. That the whole idea of having all of these little weird things that they put you through to own a Rolex, and then you get a Rolex. I mean, they're okay, but I just like people get like whirling dervishes when they talk about the things, and then they put them through all this stuff. Like it's not worth it on both ends. Okay. Collection really don't allow for that. Quick set date isn't too bad. Okay, that's the glint. I always ask them to take the stickers off, but if they force me to, then no. Cream enamel, blued Rgm Hands, and a VC 1942 numerals. Okay, that sounds interesting, Jeffrey. I'll take a look at those. Now, what is the 1942? Is that the triple calendar that you're talking about? Okay. Look up azimuth round jade dial. They make watches with jade dials. Okay. Are NS something? Are they thin ones or are they fat ones? The only ones I found were pretty fat. Azimuth round one jade dial. Azimuth round jade one dial. I'm gonna write that down. Where is it? Where's you? Ah. Okay, Hans, make some extra paella for us too, okay? Take care. The whole exercise is touching that you want a Kadoki. Yeah, those are a cool watch. Then you get everything together. Those things they're only about 8,000 or something like that. They're not too bad still. I like the ones with the day night on it. The one that I like the best. But the reason that I'm not really anxious, at least for me, to get a Kadoki is that I already have a Lang and Hein, and they both have a similar kind of thing, except the Lang and Hein has more interesting caliber, and but they're both excellent. But I just if you got one, it's sort of like having another from that same general watchmaking thing. Who used Stargate? What are you guys talking about? Okay, let's see. If they discount Junior Johnson, let's see. Do you sleep? No. I like Kadoki watches, but the word Kadoki sounds like a naughty Japanese word. Well, it sounds like a Japanese theater, kabuki. The minimalist dial is what kept me from Kadoki. Huh. That's interesting. I don't know what more would you put on there, Clyde. The reason is that we started off with a minimalist dial, and it didn't look bad. I didn't think, but the other one, it's really hard to come up with something. Using agate instead of jade for dial. Oh, agate. Okay, that'd be interesting. Maybe I missed it, but who will assemble a watch for us? We're going to do it ourselves, Jeffrey. I mean, what does it take? We got you got a case, you got a movement. That's pretty much it. Oh, and a dial. Okay. So what you do is you take the case, you take the movement, you put the dial on the movement, you put the hands on the dial you put it on the movement over the dial, you put the whole thing in a case, close it up, and Bob's your uncle. It's not a hard thing to do, really, but it's got to be done just right. Now, if we have a case, this is what I like about the idea of getting a case by Boot and Lannon and Kalen. They'll make it exactly what we need. But what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go ahead and get the movement from Lang and Hein, and then I have something pretty good that I can talk to Boot and Lannon and Kalen about, and we can go from there. The thing of it is that with people all over the world, one person trying to coordinate it, including putting the whole thing together, it could do is that I could get the whole thing and then have a video on how to put it together, and it shouldn't be too hard. Um, either that or go down to your, some watchmaker where you live and say, hey, look, could you put these things together for me? And that shouldn't cost too much. My watchmaker always forgets how much to charge me. So he says, the last time I went in there, he said, oh, I don't know, I got to charge you something. He says, I was like, how about $10? Okay. It's a great knowing a watchmaker like that. I saw this one, this is years ago, old Archie sent his Audemars Piguet in, and it came back, and he was fuming what they charged him for it. And then he said that it was still broken or something like that. But $2,000. Now, I'm not saying that Audemars Piguet shouldn't charge that much, but it's always good to know up front what you're paying. That's what I like about FP Journe. Go to FP Journe, you send your watch in, they give you everything down to the everything. And then they give you a guardian angel. And I had met the guardian angel, and whoa, whew. Someone to watch over your watch for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, enough of that. All right, finally converted the suspension on my MR2. Oh, question on the MR2. Yep. Used to be 25 mpg. Okay. And the screws on the bezel were misaligned. Was that right, Geezer? Did that happen? Yeah, I know all of the screws on the Audemars Piguets, or at least on the Royal Oak, have to be facing inward and stuff. I like the looks of Audemars Piguet about the Royal Oak. I like it, especially the basic one, the old stainless steel. No muss, no fuss, just. I think it's moving towards everyone's gets to pick the preferred movement. Yeah, Fahrenheit, because look at the options we've got. If we go with Vaucher, we got to get 25 of them, and that's like $25,000 right away. And I just can't see that happening, especially if they're going all over the world. Haven't heard back from Rolf Lang. That wouldn't be a bad one at all. It would be a great one, but so would the UWD. Or some people were saying, well, what about, digging up one from one of the, some vintage and pulling the movement out of it? That's another possibility. But, it's sort of like we have no rules. we operate on anarchy, but it's far more practical, I think, than, trying to have one person do everything. Now, on the other hand, see, this is what watch companies are for. You can put it all together. Okay, well, listen, I got to run. And so I'm going to try this with Serpentine Hands. Maybe I'll make the Metropolis a little smaller and see if I can find some different cases that I can sort of model it in and see how that goes. Don't forget to put your thumbs up. Thank you very much, John. That would be a nice thing. Anarchy rules. There you go, Clyde. That's anarchy rules is a wonderful oxymoron. That's what I like about it. Thanks, guys. Take care. I'll be back this afternoon at 4 if you're still awake. If you need a cure for your insomnia, drop by at 4 o'clock.